It's recording, huh? It's fine. Make yourself comfortable. Anyway, so you know it's gonna be awkward, yeah?
It is gonna be awkward. I mean, it's our first. I don't know. What do you want to say? Semi-professional? Since what do you call it? High school? Since middle school, actually, we were running around. What, grade 7, grade 8?
Yeah, since grade 7. And you know what's funny? When I got out of Cambridge, the only 3 people that I've been meeting up with is you, Harun, and Dario.
Right.
And the others I couldn't catch up with. So
I mean, you caught up with Harun. I've barely seen Harun, and I think I've seen Dario once since a long time. I mean, we've scattered around across different countries. Dario's in Spain, you said.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Harun is in Dubai. Everybody's in like Canada, US, the UK, Australia. So
yeah, but there are few people here, and I remember you telling me that they wanted to catch up with us. So guys, I know it's been a long time, and I promise you that as soon as I get a place where I could set up my studio, we'll do Cambridge gathering, start an open topic. Assalamu alaikum. Today we're starting the 3rd episode of Start Podcast, and of course the host assistant did not answer my calls, and I'm going to fire him today. No, just kidding. I actually told him that it's up to him if he wants to join us today, or if he wants to spend time with his family, because he won't be doing much, and I don't want to waste his time coming by here. So today we'll be talking about business. So I kept thinking which person to get to talk about business. So I thought of none other than my closest friend, Mohammed Fahim, who I trust with his business and work, and from my experience, I actually depend on his businesses to fix any technical issue with my phone or my car, and jewelry and gold. So this person right here is the best guy who has a good background on business. But before we talk about business, let us catch up a bit. So, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on the show.
Of course.
It's a wonderful initiative that you've taken. I love the name. I love the platform. The setup's nice. I'm hoping, like this will be a start for other people to open up on discussion, on topics and discussion in things that they would want to talk about. Yeah, I mean, I'm loving it so far.
Of course, and our podcast is called Start Podcast.
Right.
What do we mean by start? You know, people like me and others, we stopped at certain points, and I know you're familiar with my content when we used to make content on YouTube. We were making content, and basically we were the only guys that been committed to these works, but we couldn't find others to be committed with us. You know, it was really hard to find a group that works together, coordinate with each other, and stuff like that. So I stopped at this point, but later on, when I got this idea of Start Podcast after I delivered my message through Abu Dhabi FM and the Twitter space with Emirates community, I got the spark that, you know, I still believe that we can increase the percentage of coordination in the people, supporting one another. So, those who have businesses, whoever has any doubt, today we're going to talk about business, and my friend right here, I'll be asking him a couple of questions, and we'll get to know more about how to start your business. So, Fahim,
Yeah.
since you left UAE, how has life been compared to when you were in UAE before you left to Canada?
Life was great. Actually, I actually learned a lot when I went to Canada, about the environment there, the way people work, how business is done there. It's a completely different setup. Although there's similarities, but Canada's a more developed country, and where people are more competitive, you could say. I mean, individually, you have young people who are trying to create the next, Silicon Valley tech startup and that kind of thing. So it's a very competitive environment. There's a lot of people who are, knowledgeable about things. Coming back here, I realized that we don't have that heavy competition in that sector where people want to start up, these type of tech companies or whatever business. What we do have is regular, brick and mortar businesses here that are traditional, and we're not really seeing any major startups, like TikTok, Snapchat, and all those amazing platforms that give people the opportunity to share, and discuss about what they like and what they don't like. Yeah, it's a completely different environment. Although we've seen a lot of changes, seen a lot of new companies coming through. I've recently heard that there's a new EV company that's starting. That's a new sector. EV manufacturing. Yeah, things are moving in a positive direction. I'm hoping to see more startups within Abu Dhabi. I know Dubai is more competitive in that sense. I'm hoping to see, companies starting in Abu Dhabi so we can share their progress.
Of course, the UAE are looking for creative people who has initiative to grow the work industry, to be more competitive, to open more opportunities, not just for us Emiratis, but for everyone, foreigners.
Right.
Like our leader says, everyone are welcome to the UAE. Our home is their home.
Right.
We welcome them, we treat them the same as us, and nobody is different. And this is why I love our leaders so much. I love our people. However, like from my experience, I don't see that higher percentage in coordination,
Right.
like people coordinating with others. So now tell me, when you were in Canada, I believe you didn't start your business there. So what made you start your business in UAE, and what stopped you starting your business in Canada?
Right. So going back to Canada, my extended family has business there. Canada, the United States. They have businesses in the automotive industry. Aftermarket spare parts, in that type of industry they work in. A lot of my extended family works in that line of work. Actually, my parents set up our businesses about 25, 30 years ago in the UAE. We were in the UAE before we moved to Canada, and then came back here. and I went back, you know, what do you call it, gained experience in Canada. Now I'm here back. But they grew the businesses, and I have only recently, only the last few years, you could say 5-6 years, that I've been really involved with them. And yeah, I mean, it's been very well so far. I mean, the line of businesses we work in is in first of all, veterinary pharmacy, wholesale, retail. We have a wholesale branch. We have a bunch of retail branches, you know, the camel horse racing industry, that kind of line. Then we have businesses in jewelry, golden jewelry, which is golden jewelry is like the biggest hub of golden jewelry is the UAE, especially Dubai. The gold souk in Dubai is probably where most of the gold in the world come and goes. You know, it's an import-export place where people bring their gold, they refine it, and they manufacture it either there or somewhere else. But yeah, it's a big gold hub. And the other industries we are in is in like the vehicle service industry. You know, like you said, you obviously ask me from time to time about how to repair this and that, and how to be transparent, you know, which is a big issue. Yeah, that we're in this kind of line of work. It's not really big business. It's not like a tech startup or anything. It's traditional. Although we're trying to move in that sense. We're trying to get into e-commerce and whatnot, and see where we can take it from there. E-commerce is it's not new, but it's not really fully taken off here to the level it is in Canada, the US. You know what I mean? Like Amazon there and all the other, what do you call it, traditional companies there have already moved into that space. Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy. So we don't have that kind of movement here. I'm hoping to see that, but yeah, bright times ahead.
Yeah. Before we move on to the next question, so you already know about Expo 2020.
Expo 2020.
So you've seen this initiative.
Yeah.
When they opened Expo and they attracted the people all around the world,
right,
to Dubai just for Expo. Even though that Expo is gone and we really do miss it, they have opened the Expo City, I believe, if I'm mistaken.
Expo 2020, yeah. Dubai Expo 2020 City, I think, something like that.
Yeah. So this is also great for the people around the world to experience Dubai's futuristic vision,
right,
and what they're planning ahead. So this is what I like about people, not just the leaders, people who are planning ahead.
Right.
They already have the vision of the future and what they want to provide to the people, and how to make life much easier.
More exciting also.
Yeah, more exciting. And this is definitely great. And so my next question. I believe you already know about Bitcoin. And I've been transparent with you, honest.
Right.
That Bitcoin is kind of like a trap.
Right.
You know, so like, yani, I've seen so many YouTubers like KSI promoting Bitcoin. I believe Jake Paul or Logan Paul.
Promoting different projects,
yeah. And let's not forget about the NFTs. So, is it legit that people are getting revenue from this, or?
Yeah, Bitcoin. So let me give a little bit of backstory to why Bitcoin was made initially, and then I can walk you through to why the other projects came through. Bitcoin was made by somebody known as Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody knows exactly. It's a pseudo. Nobody knows who he is. Is it an organization? Is it a government entity? Is it an actual person? But from what we know, from what I know, is that he was a very intelligent person. To understand Bitcoin, you have to understand, first of all, economics, finance, business, politics, and, you know, how money generally works, how money works. Bitcoin was, I think Bitcoin probably it was a project that was probably in development long before it was launched. It wasn't something that was just done over a few weeks or a few months. The guy who launched it during the 2008 financial crisis. And the reason he launched it, it's written in his paper that he's put out for people to read and understand why he put it out, is like the current financial system, the banks, whenever things go wrong, the central banks print money, basically devaluing the dirham or the dollars that you, carry. So against that, he felt like this system hurts the individual person. You know what I mean? If something you were buying, for example, let's say you're buying an iPhone earphone.
Yeah, the AirPods.
If they were valued, let's say 300 dirham, I'm just putting it out on the top of my head. If they were worth 300 dirham, and the central bank keeps on inflating the money supply, that the price of that will go up. If it goes up 10%, it will be 330 dirhams. If it goes up 20%, it's 360 dirhams. So the guy who built it initially felt like, for whatever reason, mostly based to control the money, to give power, the financial power, back to the general population. So he created Bitcoin, where you have to mine. So it's not like you just buy it. I mean, sorry, you can buy it now. I mean, initially you had to mine it. So you had to basically get a computer, a dedicated CPU that mines for Bitcoin, and the more powerful your CPU is and the faster it works, the more rewarded you are with Bitcoin. And that Bitcoin, as people trade, gains value over time. I mean, obviously it started at a few cents and then reached $1 and then reached $2 and then 10, 20, 30. Now it is around $21,000 Bitcoin. At the peak of Bitcoin, which was a few months ago, was around $69,000 US. So it's still not, it's the currency, whatever you want to call it, cryptocurrency, currency, digital asset. It's still not fully mature, but it has shown its capacity to capture value. Therefore, people can trade super quickly. They don't need to use, their Visa cards or their bank to transfer this and that. It makes business so much more efficient and quicker. So it's a very interesting technology, and it has a lot further ways to go before it's fully matured, and then the price will be more stable. It won't fluctuate from 69,000 to 20,000 over a period of few weeks. The point it reaches maturity, people won't be really talking in terms of currency. It will be talking in terms of not probably Bitcoins, because Bitcoin will be way too highly valued. You'll be talking in terms of Satoshis. Satoshis is like fils. So Bitcoin is like dirham, Satoshis is like fils. Then at that point, you will be buying your items in Satoshis. It depends on which country and jurisdiction allows you to use Bitcoin in like retail trade. So therefore, that time people will be talking, for example, if you want to buy a can of Coke, you'll be saying, instead of, what is it right now, 3 dirhams, it'll be like 3 Satoshis, if the value is, yeah. So and the thing is, people can't steal your Satoshis.
They can steal it.
They cannot steal it.
They cannot steal it.
The central bank can't print, for example, the Federal Reserve or the European Central Bank. that prints money. It's not really stealing, but it's like a tax. It's more like a tax. When they print money, it's more like a tax, an a tax where you don't realize it, but like you feel the effects of it, but don't realize it. So this system is in place now. Who knows how far it goes? I mean, the bigger players out there and the bigger investors probably know how far it probably would go, but it's still far away from being mature. Yeah, and the other projects that came around cryptocurrency, I think most people who got into other projects don't understand finance, business, economics, politics to realize the potential of Bitcoin. They thought of it of like a pump and dump. You know what I mean? I threw in a quick few dirhams inside a project. What do you call it? A bunch of guys get together and pump it and then try to sell it. Therefore, it's called a dump, and then make somebody else hold that bag. You know what I mean? Those guys don't. They probably do, but those are just schemes. They're more like they're not legit. They just want to pump and dump. They just want to get quick money. A lot of people lost a lot of money in those projects. But the only one I really have not respect, but like I think is the most legit one is Bitcoin. And then there's other projects that are not limited. You know, like Bitcoin is limited supply money. There's Ethereum that is not limited supply, but if it acts more like a fiat currency where like exactly like they inflate it, but governments like it because they can increase the money supply and whatnot. Not exactly that governments can control it, but yeah. And then there's other projects like Ripple, Binance Coin, and whatnot. The other ones I just see them as pump and dumps, you know, people who want to make quick money. And then NFT is not something I'm personally into, but other people are. It's like digital art. Once you buy the NFT, you own it and in hopes that it retains its value or increases in value over time. It's just digital art. Nobody can replicate your NFT. Nobody can steal it and whatnot. So that's pretty much it.
But NFT, I can literally screenshot the picture.
Yeah, but the NFT is like you own the code. Like nobody can, like the guy can probably take you to court if you try to use that, for example, picture in other areas of work.
So it has copyright infringement in the NFT that he'll be owning under his name.
Yeah, I mean he owns that NFT. I don't know how the copyright system works on NFTs. If the laws have been established on that, I don't know if you have to register it or what you have to do. But you own that exact picture or video. You know what I mean? It's like a GIF. It's like a GIF, but like a GIF on a blockchain. So it's like you own it. It's like digital pictures. I get it. It's like a collectible. You know what I mean? People collect old Rolexes, old cars, old art, and it retains its value. I mean, collectibles are collectibles. But then again, I mean, I'm not really in the NFT. I'm not interested in the NFT. It's not my thing. I don't know. I might invest in it just for fun. Not something that I am serious about like the other. It's mostly, if you see NFTs, it's mostly people who are like streamers, YouTubers, and TikTokers, or those kind of people in that space where they like NFTs. And, you know, some businesses like football clubs and what other entertainment entities have gone on that thing, and they're trying to capitalize on the trend. But it's nothing similar to Bitcoin and what Bitcoin represents, although it's all on the blockchains, various blockchains that are out there. Yeah.
But I read from somewhere in an article, I forgot the name of the expertise. He said that Bitcoin will soon vanish, like people will not benefit anything from Bitcoin. Like it'll crash. Is that true?
Well, I mean, it has crashed. It crashed from $69,000 to $20,000. I mean, Bitcoin has had multiple crashes, if you want to call them crashes, over its period. There's a lot of people who are against it because they see what it will do if it gains traction and whatnot. You know, like the financial side of it. What do you call it? It might not be. For example, a lot of countries banned it. India, China attempted to ban it, but it's not bannable because it's decentralized. Like nobody can come and take your Bitcoin away from you. Like it's like your photos in your phone.
Yeah.
Can somebody just attempt to steal it away from you? They can't. They have to hack it. Even then, like they have to figure out what do you call it? Like what your phone is, what your address is, your IP address is, and whatnot, and then try to get into that. It's not some. It's there's only a few hackers in the world who could do that. And then what do you call it? Bitcoin is made in so many ways where you can. The system is first of all not hackable. The Bitcoin system. Now, whether you store it digitally on a exchange like Binance or Coinbase or one of the local exchanges here, I think BitOasis or whatnot.
Yeah.
If you store it on an exchange and the exchange gets hacked, that's their problem. I don't know what type of liability they have. But if you put it in your, what do you call it, hard drive, they call it like physical hard drive. You put it into your hard drive, store it like a picture or whatnot. I mean, there's lots of tutorials on how to do those things, and you will understand that it's not something that can be stolen. I bet if you forget your password, I don't know. I mean, if you have short-term memory or some, I'm sorry, short-term. I mean, long-term memory loss or something like, what do you call it? One of those diseases, Alzheimer's or whatnot. Hopefully nobody does, but otherwise, it's all. I would say it's like the new internet. It's the new technologies that come out. People don't understand it fully. But over time, people start valuing it. They see the use case in it. Yeah, let's see where it goes. It's an interesting space. It's one of all the spaces in the investment world or the finance world. It's not the only space. But yeah, let's see what it does.
Yeah, let's see what it does, and let's see what it can do from far ahead.
Yeah.
Like one times move on. So let's talk about business. So you said that you have businesses, and I specifically want to talk about your car workshop business. As from my experience and my family's experience, whenever I face an issue with my car, when I get back from work, like I don't have time to take my car to Mussafah to fix it for me because I have to look after my kids, especially my son Abdullah.
Right.
So I give my car to the driver or my brothers, and they say that it's a trusted workshop and they know them from long time ago, but I felt like the workshop rips them off. Why is that? They fix the issue, but in the next 2 days
it breaks down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I asked my brothers and my dad. I asked them, how come this workshop that you're dealing with for many years, that you call that a trusted car workshop? And you know, like yani, the typical Arab culture, they're like, it's okay, he's my friend, he knows what he's doing. It's just that the car, you know, it's too old. And I'm like, oh no. And then, subhanallah, when we were talking about, when I came, we went out, I think, to watch a movie. I don't know what we were going to watch. And I told you about the car that I have an issue with this car. Like, I don't know what to do with it because I don't take it to the local car workshop. And you told me about your business. You told me bring your car after we're done with the cinema. We'll check it out. Then I asked you, will it be open at that time? You're like, don't worry. We'll like help you out.
Yeah.
So when I told you like how much they paid for this issue, and you and the guys who work in your shop, they're like, this is not the price, and they're not doing their job.
Right.
So you gave a good price and you fixed it for me, and till now, I think since 3 months or 4 months ago, I'm still driving my car. I didn't face any issue.
Right. Yeah.
So it's still going for a long term.
It's still working.
It's still working.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah, I can get into a lot of things that is problematic in this space, especially the vehicle service industry. The number one problem, first of all, is I'll talk about the structural problem, is that the government doesn't allow you to establish a vehicle service center anywhere. For example, in the city, you cannot, in Abu Dhabi Island, you cannot open up a vehicle service center, whether it be a mechanic or oil change stop or a tire change center. You can't open. I think they had it once, and the government just came and just told them to close shop and open in Mussafah Industrial, and they did that across all regions. Mussafah, Shabia, Mohammed bin Zayed City, Khalifa, everywhere suddenly had to close their businesses and open in Mussafah Industrial, Mussafah Sana'i, whatever name you like to use. So that's the first issue, is the structural issue, where all the businesses have to open up in one location. You're trying to start seeing the problem here, is all these businesses are cramped together in one location. So there's so much competition. Yeah. The first problem is that like everybody's cramped together, and there's only a certain amount of customers that come through. So all those shops, whether there are 50 of them, 100 of them, or 500 of them, have to compete for that one customer that is there, and that customer will not walk into every single one of them.
Yeah.
Right? Either they come in through a trusted source, like either a true trusted source or those type of trusted sources that you talk about, or some walk in and ask for quotes. You know what I mean? And they have no choice, because typically in other countries of the world, you're supposed to open up a business where other businesses like yours is not there.
Yeah.
You should be like a few kilometers far away, at least a few kilometers, like let's say 5 to 10 kilometers away from the nearest business that is your line of work. So vehicle service center here, 10 kilometers away from the next vehicle. Not 10, but like at least 5 kilometers, or I'm just trying to put some context here, is good for the business. So it can have regular customers that are local. Local customers come to it, trust it, and do business with it. But because you're located all in one location, customers have to survive. They're not really, it's not like they have daily 50 customers walking in. Yeah. Daily, maybe 3-4 customers are walking in. So from 3-4 customers, they gotta make their money. So that's the first issue. Is I don't know why the government put that initiative. Makes no sense, because in other parts of the world, you're supposed to be able to open a brick. I get it downtown. I get it, like downtown Abu Dhabi, near the Corniche. I get it. But like other parts of the city, coming closer towards Mussafah and Khalifa City, Like, you should be able to open up a shop there because, like, customers need it. They're going to drive all the way 45 minutes to Mussafah, find a shop, find different quotations, get that job done, and then go all the way to your home in the city, if you live in the city, or else if you live in Khalifa or Sheikh Bout or Shawameh, Shamkha, Yas, or wherever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not practical. I mean, you're going to be spending out 5-6 hours. That's the first issue. Is the government has put that rule where you have to build in Mussafah. I think they've become lenient now. You can open it on some parts of Mohammed Zayed city, but I think they're still restricted on the city thing. That's number one issue. Number two issue is there's no standardization of vehicle service workers, mechanics, electricians, and all those guys who work in this industry are not standardized. Like, a lot of people are just working out of
their
like just to do work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when people are working, most of the shops that are working on stuff don't know what they're doing. They can do minor work, like change your tire, change your battery, oil change, maybe some electrical work, but they don't know everything else, right? Even the guys who say they're mechanics, they're not mechanics, no. There's no standard entry, you know what I mean? Mm. So it's easy for anybody to open up, and there's a lot of competition, and there's no, minimum qualifications where somebody knows what they're doing. So you got few problems here. You got a business that is not making enough revenue or profit. So the few customers that walk into them, they have to make the most of it. Like if they were charging a gross profit of, let's say, 50 dirhams or 100 dirhams, they try to attempt to get a gross profit of 500 or 1,000, maybe 2,000 of one job to make the days, to meet the monthly goal. So that's the first issue, because there's so much competition. The second competition is because there's no proper, what I told you, is proper expertise. Yeah. It's just open market. You find these people who are coming in from these third world countries who are working there. They might know something. You gotta shop around, you know what I mean? And you gotta waste time. So they do the job to a degree, but they might not even know what they're doing. So they either, do it, but not fully. Like, it comes back with another problem, or they just don't understand it, and they just ship it off to another shop and try to fix it. So these are the few problems that are in this industry. And yeah, the number one problem is the fact that there's so many shops. If you've been to Mussafah Industrial, is there's so many shops that have to compete for the limited amount of customers that are available. So that's the number thing. So businesses like that, if you want to come to our business, it's Al Maraghi Electronic Wheel Balance in Mussafah 45. We'll try to help you. You can discuss and see what the cost of the goods are, with the labor charges and whatnot, and we try to show you why our charges are what. But other businesses, we have a jewelry business. Al Reyada Jewellery, which is in Mussafah Shabia, Mohammed Zayed city, that also is involved in the gold business. That's another line of work where, unfortunately, there are businesses that are trying to, because they don't have enough customers, like I told you again. The problem with this part of the world is, one of the initial problems is, people open a business, the same business, right beside you. Yeah. So the customer gets divided, right? You might give a better product, you might get a better service, better customer service, better price and whatnot, better marketing, better brand, whatnot. But once another shop establishes beside you, they're gonna pull at least some of your customers. You can't say and whatnot. So you have all these every business that, whatever industry you are, you'll find other people in that industry open up the same business or shop right beside you. I mean, for God's sake, man, just move up down the street a little bit. But no, they come up, open up the shop right beside you. So what happens is instead of one person making money at the end of the day, two people are fighting for one customer, and there's loss there. So in the gold jewelry business, other than the big brands are established, like their prices and their procedures are established. The smaller shops that are not competitive, they can't get, for example, if your shop has to get 30 customers a day.
30 customers.
Right? 30 customers a day. Some of these other shops don't get 3-4 customers. Like customers who actually buy. So from those 3-4 customers, what they call it, these shops will make the monthly target. So like if the making charge, which is the masna'iyya for gold shops, if the charge should be, for example, I'm just putting a charge. It's not, because there's different charges for different type of things, different brands and different qualities. For example, if you have to charge 25 dirhams per gram, right? On a necklace set. You find these other shops that will charge you, for example, you wouldn't even know. They'll tell you one thing, but on the bill it's something else. They'll charge you, for example, 125 per gram. That's how many times more? 5 times more. So why? So if they get 4 customers a day, in one customer they make 5 times the money. So 5 times 4, 20. So they can make 20 customers profit of the day from 4 people instead of a regular shop who's transparent, trying to be legit, and like catch 30 customers. So that's a problem. And the other thing is, there's a lot of businesses that don't collect tax, VAT, value added tax.
Yeah, you told me about it before.
Yeah. Value
Understand.
added taxes is law by government. You collect it and you pay the government. And you find these other small businesses that don't collect VAT. It's very common in the gold business for the smaller gold shops that they don't collect VAT.
Why is that?
The thing is, like, because they can't make money, they're trying to pull customers from the other business. So they try to entice customers and say, you know what, I'll not collect VAT from you. No VAT, what they call only making charge. But even then, they still can't survive after like trying to pull out your customer, not giving VAT, overcharging. They still can't make any money because they ruin their reputation. Because once a customer buys an item and then finally finds out that he's been ripped off, he comes back into the shop or into the business and says, you ripped me off, sir. Can you take your item back? Nope, they can't do that. There is no such thing, and they will not take. So one by one, the name of the business becomes bad. And so slowly, customers not going to come through because customers are regular customers. You can't make a business on trying to cut somebody off in one shot. You have to have regular customers, be transparent, be legitimate, have great customer service, have great product also. Right? It can't be just, I'm going to catch Abdurrahman today. I'm going to charge him 125 dirham per gram on just regular standard designs and expect that I can do that all day, all night. That's not going to happen. So there is problems in the industry. Hopefully it can improve.
Yeah, inshallah. And this is what I like about you, because I knew that you would be transparent, and our leaders and the people here want someone who's transparent, what error is happening in the businesses so that they could work on a solution.
Right.
So when you talked about from your experience and about the structuring problem and the processing and the businesses that's not going to go forward because every business the same, every like the business are the same business they're working on in one place, it's basically like a fish market. Seriously, yeah, it's like a fish market, yeah. And you hardly, like you said, you hardly find the right store, the trusted with good price and trusted workers, mechanics and electricians, and they have what you want. They can make an order for your battery for the car and polishing. يعني they have the right resources, you know.
Right.
So like your workshop, the car workshop, in my opinion, 100% guaranteed work, and they're dedicated.
Right.
They really want to get the customer satisfaction.
Thank you.
Welcome. And yeah, I never had any doubt when I got my car getting fixed in your car workshop. And then I immediately told my parents that, خلاص, from now on, you take your cars to my friend.
Right.
He'll fix it for you. He'll never rip you off. The prices are like this. Like if you're not like satisfied with the good quality, I mean the original quality part, then you can go for the good part, which can like any make your car stay for a bit longer, for long term, not short term, long term. So I'll put your businesses in the of this episode's descriptions.
You don't have to. Thank you so much. But yeah, thank you if you do.
No, I have to, because people need to know about your businesses, and you're very knowledgeable on how to make a business.
Yeah.
And we're getting to this point. So first, let's talk about questioning. If I want to make a business,
right?
Which business? What do you think in this time? Which business should we start with that'll attract more people, and which spot to start renting? Maybe a truck, or maybe a place, a store, a shop to rent. Right. So, what do you suggest we should start with as a first business that we won't lose a lot of revenue or financially, you know?
Right.
So could you?
So coming back to the first point, like at a point I made in the other discussion, was like, if whatever you want to start, make sure you start it in a location which is not served.
Mm-hmm.
Right, location is number one in any. I'm talking about retail. I mean, there's all those sorts of businesses, you know. I'm talking about retail. We'll talk about retail, and then if we want to go to other areas of business, then we can talk about that. Mm-hmm. But for retail, which is a common business, most people set up retail, is location. Location is number one. You should be in a location which has enough population to serve you, number one. And also be in a place where no other or very little competitors are there, and you have a product where your competitor has no advantage over you, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to stand out somehow, some way, whether it be product, whether it be service, whether it be how you market your product, or you have great customer service. So those are the first few things you need to think about, is like to be in a location that is underserved and very little competitors are there. So the first problem is that even if if you set up shop and you're successful, at any point, at any time, another person will come and set up the same business right beside you.
Yeah.
Right beside. I mean, I don't understand that logic. You're gonna lose. I'm gonna lose if we're gonna be doing the same product or service. Mm-hmm. So the one thing people here is not getting out of their mind is set up shop where nobody else is there. Don't set up shop beside somebody else. You're gonna hurt yourself, your investment, and the other guy's revenue. So you're going to be competing for the same customers. It's not like customers will grow. You know what I mean? There's double the business, or there's going to be more customers coming to the same shop. No. I mean, a little bit. Maybe you have something of quality that people will drive all the way from 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers away and come to your shop. Maybe. Very rarely. But the most customers that come into a business are local customers who are local. What I mean, not in your sense local, like when you can do anything, but like local who are living around that business will come to that business. Like if I want to go to Pizza Hut, I'm not going to go to Pizza Hut in Shamkha. I'm going to go to Pizza Hut near me in Mohammed Zayed City.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Your location is your number first thing. The other thing I want to say, because of the way people operate in this country, do something a little bit unique, right? That is not done by anybody else, but you know is gonna be in demand. If you're gonna do regular stuff, like I'm just gonna say these stuff, but most likely more people will not do, but like laundry shops, electronic shops, mobile phones, cafes, restaurants. Unless you're doing something super super unique in restaurants, that, for example, you're doing a specific cuisine, a specific idea that you have that is unique, and you're among other restaurants, that's all right. But if you're a restaurant, for example, that is giving, let's say, Lebanese grill, and there's another Lebanese grill right across you, if you're having the same product, the end of the day, the competition will come down to who has the best product and the best service.
Yeah.
So one of you are going to get hurt. So location is number one. And like I said, you have to do something unique. A lot of people open up like pizza restaurants, or like some sort of a sort of restaurant, like a burger restaurant, fast food, cafes, where they overcharge. 30 dirham coffees. Let's start with the prices first. 30 dirham coffees that are overpriced. You're not gonna get, if you're gonna start up a business and expect to overcharge like coffee for 30, 40 dirhams. There is only a few businesses that might do that because they have that name, they have that marketing. They're on Instagram and they're marketing and they're trying to get those high-end customers, or those customers that go out and it's like a one-time type of thing, who will spend like 40 dirhams, 50 dirhams on coffee. That is only a few rare businesses.
Yeah.
If you're expecting to just open up a shop and like customers will fly in, no, that's not happening.
No.
Or a restaurant where you're charging, 150 dirhams per plate. It's not going to happen. The customer's not going to come through unless you're doing something super unique and you're targeting high-end customers, which is not the base. If you want to do business, targeting general people, like the overall population, which is the best way to go when you want to get the most revenue, because they're going to continuously come in and it's recession-proof and whatnot, is to do businesses that are targeted for the whole population and not just... A lot of people here just set up high-end shops, high-end businesses like luxury vehicle service. Expensive cafes. Like 70, 80 dirham burgers. That demographic is very little. Like there's only a few people. I'm not saying a few people, but that like people who spend that kind of money is a small percentage of the population. The rest of the population, they're going to be eating Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
True. They're going to be eating Pizza Hut, and that's their price point. So your price point is important. Your location is important. What you're offering is important. And you have to have some sort of business research. Business acumen. You've had to have been exposed to have had to at least understand if my thoughts, what I'm thinking, is my business ideas going to work or not. Have to have some sort of feedback, you know what I mean, from people of experience.
Yeah.
Now, if you're asking me to tell you what you should open up, we don't have the one thing I want to say, if you're coming back to coffee and tea and whatnot, we don't have a professional chain of coffee shops like at a affordable price point. That's what we don't have in this country.
Yeah.
You know, like Tim Hortons, Starbucks, and what those things. Like, I'm Canadian. In Canada, well, like Tim Hortons is like $1.30. You can say that's like a dirham and 50 fils.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna convert it like $130 to what it's gonna be like 4 dirhams. No, let's say 3 dirham coffee. We don't have that here. Coffee here is like 15 dirhams. 15 dirhams and up. If you unless you go to McCafe, McDonald's, where they charge you what, like 7, 8 dirhams for a small Americano. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like Tim Hortons, Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not talking about the franchises here where they overcharge. They make a killing. Holy. Like, if you go to Tim Hortons or Starbucks where they charge nearly 30 dirhams for a drink, what do you call it? The frappes and the hot drinks and whatnot. That's not the price in Canada or the US.
Yeah.
You're paying, if Starbucks is the more expensive one, and you're paying there like $3 to $6, something like that, which is in dollars, and you make money there in dollars, not dirhams. So we don't have, and Tim Hortons is like $1.30 Canadian to like $3, and you get like nice drinks for cheap, and the donuts are like 99 cents. 99 cents. That's 3 dirhams UAE. Not even 3 dirhams. We should get donuts here that are 2 dirhams at least, at maximum.
Yeah.
And they charge, how much are donuts here? For example, Dunkin' Donuts, like 7, 8 dirhams?
25 or something.
7, 8 dirhams for one piece or something. Maybe 25 for a bunch. But yeah, I mean, that's the first thing we don't have. Is we don't have a coffee shop that customers will come in, like drive through and walk in, and you're gonna get like 500 customers, and that's what most of these fast coffee and breakfast shops make, like 500 customers daily, easy. That's what we don't have.
Yes, I definitely agree with you, and I'm not gonna shy away from being transparent. They do overcharge, and you know, some places that it's overcharged and the place is overoccupied, and like, from my experience, like the coffee, the donut, the sweets, it's not what I expected. I mean, the price is too high, the taste is not that great.
Yeah, it's not at the quality.
Yes, okay, the interior, it has a quality, the customer service is good, but however, they're overcharging, they're overpriced, and the quality is not good. But however, I remember when I used to go to Just Fresh, it had a drink called Expo 2020, and I really liked it.
The names, Burj Khalifa, Burj Al Arab.
Yeah. But the best, in my opinion, the best was Expo 2020, and I hope they bring it back. I don't know what's the reason why they stopped it, but I wish for that flavor to return to your stores. And I do agree with you with the making a good price, but however, the quality of the drinks and food should be like the rate should be more than the price. I mean, you know, for example, like a karak that I pay for 1 dirham, I expect it to be better than any other stores.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like 15 dirhams for karak, the small one. The small one. And it doesn't taste anything. You know, like I don't feel the taste, and it's really, you know, bitter.
Right.
So I really do agree with you on this point. Before I move to the last question, I actually saved this for you to talk about, because you know, about me since Cambridge High School, and
yeah,
like compared to before I move on with my question, like compared to before, what do you think, like the difference from Cambridge, when I was there in Cambridge, up to now.
Wow. Since Cambridge times. Which year did we meet? Grade 7?
Grade 7, yeah. Funny story is they were gonna put me in grade 8, but they decided to put me in grade 7 because of my age. I was 14 at that time.
Right.
So yeah, they wanted to put me in grade 8, but they're like, I should be in
grade 7.
Yeah. So yeah, we met since.
Wow,
grade 7.
it's been a long time. I mean, when I initially met you, you were definitely a lot less social. So you wouldn't really talk unless other people took the initiative to talk to you, for example.
But let's be honest, like when you saw me, the state that I was, and not making eye contact, not participating in the class, and not talking, not being social.
Right.
What did you think of me? Like, did you look at me like I'm a different human being, or like any other human being?
No, I mean, we had many other classmates that, have had struggle with various learning disabilities and whatnot. Everybody struggles with various health and physical disabilities that we are not aware of, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody might have a problem. Like, maybe you think, I have a bunch of businesses and I make a lot of money, but you never know about my health. You never know about my social life. You never know what else is going on, right? You might just see the money and you might be envious, but that's not how it actually goes. So there's a lot of people who have a lot of various health problems. Some people have blood issues with their blood. They have blood diseases. Some people have cancers at a young age. Some people have asthma. So, in every family there's people who have various issues. Some people have like a bent spine, which they have to sit in a certain way or some way to be comfortable. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really see you like, oh, this guy is cuckoo or something. No, I just saw somebody with a special ability where he doesn't like eye contact. He doesn't like taking. There's people who are extroverted who are introverted. Even without having a disability, there's people who are introverted. Unless you talk to them and take initiative, they don't really open up. And they have to have that certain mood, yeah? You got to set up the mood for them. Like if they're in a class where there's newer people around, they might not talk as much. And then like once they get to know them, they start bringing out their original self, right? So there's I didn't really see you like some things weird. I honestly didn't know, to be honest. Like it only occurred to me later on that something was a little bit off from your eye contact only. I didn't really think that because your talking was 100% from day one. You were talking better English than everybody in school, bro. Yeah. like the other locals were talking in like broken English, you know what I mean? Do you remember?
Yeah.
I'm not going to take names, but like their English was broken. Like they barely.
But since.
But yes.
When was the first time that I talked in school? I think during the break time, but I was. But I don't know, since I got to grade 7, I don't know which day was when I started talking in English.
I think how I remember it is like I tried to approach you, and because I was like helping everybody in class. I wasn't like only targeting you. Like I'm gonna target Abdurrahman. I'm gonna talk to him. I was actually helping everybody. I remember there was our Argentinian friend Marco. Remember, he passed away. Like when Mr. Taylor came in and asked like who can guide he came into class in front of class and asked who can guide, for example, Mark go around left and right and help him. I said, I'll help him. So I was actually like, I actually didn't mind. I actually liked it, just helping people around, just taking the social initiative and just help people around and whatnot. So I realized like not many people were talking to you. So I just, once in a while said, Abudi, what's up? How's it going? And what do you call it? I think like I took the initiative and talked back and forth a little bit, left and right, and then until you became comfortable, and then I started seeing that you were hanging around me.
Yeah. You know what's funny, because Dario was the first one and you were the second one, and then Hassan, and then Hamoud,
Yeah.
and then suddenly the whole grade 7A and B, they started to
Yeah.
So to get to the point, to my question, like, why do people not support one another? Like, I wish people like you and classmates that I met during Cambridge, that they're always very supportive. Like, they do not care if you're better than them. They do not care that you're gonna be somewhere like in a better spot. Like, let's talk about the work placement. Like, they don't care if you became the CEO. They wish the best for you. So why I don't understand why the people try to harm each other. What will they benefit for? Okay, this person harmed me and I got back to the same position. Okay, what did you benefit? Seriously, what did you benefit from harming me, trying to ruin my reputation, even though that most of the my staff, like, they know of my reputation, they know of my status, they know of my work environment, they know what I'm providing, they know that I'm very supportive and trying to experience other departments, trying to improve, trying to motivate them, trying to prove a point that I and we people of determination have a place. So really, like, I want to ask all of the people that who are harming staff who has so much potential that they can benefit the work. I mean, brother, sister, يعني, if your staff, you're their line manager and harming them, why is that? If I was in your place, I would be happy for them. I would be happy for them that they're in a better position than I am. I'm supporting them to be productive, motivating them, and to inspire others who used to be with the person himself that moved to in an operation department or HR or became a CEO, so that one day when the company comes and the people ask me, who's this person? And some of the people, they will know that this person was under you. Look what you did to make this person to become a successful person.
Right.
Look what you did. Look what this person is doing this for the company. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This initiative, we need it. We really need it in this critical times. Like, I will keep repeating myself. I will keep talking about coordination, supporting one another, because this is what our leaders want. This is what the country wants. And I believe you all want us to be working in one hand.
Right.
So that's what I wanted to get off of my chest. And
well, I can say the first thing is, I mean, whenever you go across life, there are always going to be bullies.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, like, the bully attitude is like is such a high school, middle school type of attitude. A lot of people have not grown out of it. They just get off from bullying others, making fun of others, harming others. That's the first thing. And I mean, if you go in any part of the world, I think you will find bullies. I mean, bullies have a lot of problems in their own home, right? I mean, what people are and what people do comes from the fact of what happens in their own household. So when people bully others, it just shows how they were brought up. It's possible they were bullied at home, their parents bullied them at home. I mean, a lot of parents.
I agree with you, but let's say, God forbids,
Right.
Allah forbids. Let's say at some point we have a huge crisis that is happening. Like, let's say we don't have water. Let's say we stop making business.
Right.
I believe at some point they will ask themselves, what have we been doing all this time?
Right.
And we did not think ahead.
They were spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you call it then? I'll come back to the spoiled part. Is the second thing is a lot of people are envious. You might be a pod, which is a people of determination, but you might be a hard worker. That doesn't stop you from academic and career progress. So you might be working harder, and the employees around you, your colleagues or your managers, might be envious. And a lot of people are. You know how work politics work.
Mm.
So it could be a little bit of work politics. They're envious of the fact that you might get a promotion, you might look better, you might get that extra bonus, that extra credit. You're gonna get that recommendation from, what do you call it, your department manager, the CEO, and whatnot. So a lot of people are envious, and a lot of people don't show it. So you have to be careful from that. First one is bullying, being envious. People who are envious are not happy about themselves, right? They feel a lack of something, so they're envious of others when other people achieve. The third thing I want to say is some people are just spoiled and lazy. Some people are just spoiled and lazy. So when people are spoiled and lazy, they just don't build a strong character. They what do you call it? They're just spoiled. You know how spoiled people are.
Yeah.
Like, so they just treat other people like trash too. So they're just lazy and spoiled. And if you try to get to them, they'll feel like, okay, this is not a major part of my job. I don't need to handle it, and they'll just brush it off. And that it's a little bit of the work culture here. Like, if it's not a major point of their job, they'll just make an excuse. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So laziness is another part of it. These are the three things I can come up with. Is like bullying, being envious, and being lazy. And a lot of people here are spoiled because a lot of people are very well off, and maybe the dad is a hard worker, but the son might not be, or the daughter. They're just, eating off the dad's success. So they haven't really built the character they need to, work in the work thing. And that's pretty much it. I mean, other than that, there's literally nothing I can come up with. Unless somebody is like the devil, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some people are like the devil, like they just have bad intentions. You know, there's serial killers out there. Of course, not in the UAE, because UAE is one of the most safest countries in the world. Safety, security is probably number one. Well, I mean, it's not that I'm saying it because I live here. I think it's a fact. You can go outside and check the safety. But if you go into other countries, there's just mentally ill people. You know what I mean? Serial killers and, the other kinds of weird stuff that go about. I mean, you've been in the US.
Yeah.
US is not different from the Canada. You just see drug addicts, crazy people, burglars, theft happening right in front of you.
Yeah.
You see those guys who were on drugs. You know what I mean? And like they just.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're on drugs. I feel sorry for them. They have probably gone through some bad.
They went to.
Some bad episode, if they have some sort of mental issue or some sort of problem that they're trying to come over. And there's just people who are born in bad environments and they have just bad characters, like people who are pathological liars, psychopaths, sociopaths. There's just crazy people out there, and you'll meet them in your work, in your life. And the line of work I work in, I've heard. I mean, it's a stat that they say that most business owners or CEOs are kind of like sociopaths.
Yeah, true. Before we move to the last question, since you got a point about this being spoiled in wealth, Sheikh Zayed, may he rest in peace,
Right.
he used to say, do not let your wealth take over you, and always support others.
Right.
That's not his exact saying, but
that's his gist. That's the idea.
Yeah. Why is that? Because when people get to the toppest level,
right,
or they have the wealth, they just change completely, and they never care of supporting whoever needs help.
Right.
Look at our leaders.
Right.
Even though their status and they are leaders of the countries, they are very supportive, and they always support Emiratis.
Right.
Not just Emiratis, everyone.
Right.
So I wish everybody goes with this example, really.
To come together, to support each other, to help each other, to make a better country, a better environment, so we can all enjoy and be happy.
Yes.
I mean, what else could anybody else want, right? So yeah, I mean, I want to say again, you are doing an amazing job. I love the idea that you're doing this. I like the setup, the whole idea. I just like being here. I don't know why. I mean, I've just come from work. I mean, I could spend hours and days just talking.
Definitely, we will be making more episodes, but it's going to be an open topic.
Right.
We've already explained it, I think, in the first episode. If not, we're going to make an open topics, and I'm going to invite guests that are like I have connection with, or my friends, or maybe it could be anyone from the viewers.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, huh?
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Yo.
No, but I don't know. Maybe it's possible. Anything could be possible anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. What do you have a message that you want to share to everyone, or a specific person, or an advice to everyone, the viewers?
I would like to say, I would like to thank everybody for coming and supporting Aboudi in this initiative. Coming back to the main point is we should all come together, help each other, support each other, try to build a better country. We could have the greatest country in the world. Not that it's not the greatest country in the world. We could have a model where people look up to us and say, UAE is a place where I want to follow. It's got the best things in all senses: business, social life, support, which is now a big thing, work-life balance and whatnot, and company culture and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, again, thank you for watching this show. Thank you for having me on this show. Let's make this country proud.
I almost got emotional, and I don't want to get emotional in front of the camera yet. So I came from a long way, and I still can't believe that I'm this point where I got the spark to adapt fast and evolve, and it's thanks to the people that been supporting me. Really, like you, our friends, and the people who were very supportive. Let's not forget about my mother, my parents, the country, our leaders. Like, I've been through a lot, and alhamdulillah, it's paying off. And I wish everybody to move on and strive for success. And like I said, do not stop if you are climbing up. You have to start and keep going. Never stop. Nothing is impossible. And thank you, brother.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you on the next episode of Start Podcast.
Well done.
Thank you. Ya Allah.
How was it?
It was really great.
I guess that'll be a great start to your podcast.
Yeah. Actually, this is gonna be a great topic to talk about business.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really, I didn't expect you to get into it.